Over the last year of doing weekly check-ins on our financial goals and finding that that really helped motivate me and we became debt-free over the course of less than a year, I really found that weekly check-ins, weekly progress, and gearing goals that way is really good. It works well for me. And so I did pick up the 12-week year and I am working on that process now. I'm actually reading through the book. It'll be interesting to see how this process changes as we go through the book and kind of glean information that is inspiring and resonates with me. I still share mainly financial content on my channel, but I am reserving the weekend to talk about some health-related goals and more. I do have some goals that don't relate to my physical health, but do lend to my mental health through just having balance in my life. Last time we met, I was sharing our progress 1 week into these goals, and so let's see how we're doing on 2 weeks in. Sunday sunrise, trying to get out for a hike or a walk on Sundays, and I am gonna check this off. It didn't end up being Sunday because it was storming and rainy out. Instead, I went for a swim and sauna with a friend, but I did make it out later with my daughter. We got some drive time in as she's practicing driving. And also there were some gorgeous cotton candy skies, definitely hitting the mark on the spirit of this goal. And so I feel really good about still checking this one off. Yoga. I previously had a health journey where I really got into yoga and stretching and lifting weights and hiking, all those sorts of things. I've really let those fall to the wayside as we've put all of our energy towards becoming more financially fit. Now I'm trying to kind of balance out that focus again. This last week, I did a yoga session. Yoga with Adriene is my favorite. I did yoga for tired feet. Very short video. I think it was only 14 minutes. Just easing my way into this. I'm hoping to do an in-person yoga class with my dear friend Tara, but for now, this is very accessible and it's budget friendly. It's free. It's on YouTube. We'll check that off for week 2 as well. Deadlift. Yes, I did deadlift this week. I just did one session. We did 75 pounds on the barbell, 12 reps times 3 times. It's amazing how easy it feels picking it up the first time versus the last set. Getting to the end of the reps, you always feel so weak. I'm really glad I'm easing into these goals because sometimes if I build things up too quickly, it's almost like a house of cards and it all just comes down. Slow and steady wins the race. Let's build a good foundation that we can build off of as we go along. My next goal, meet with Weight Watchers. I signed up for Weight Watchers a couple weeks ago now. Hadn't made it to any of the workshops last time I checked in. This week, I unfortunately am not checking one off either. Fully intended to make it to the workshop, but just got lost in the planning of meals. I do feel like I try to address pitfalls right away, so I added an alarm on my phone to go off every week at that same time so that I can make it to the meeting. Spoiler alert, I did make it to the 3rd week and met someone else who's new as well, so it was really nice to make a connection in the community. And last one for health, track habits. First week, just being aware of my water intake. This 2nd week, I just tracked my sleep. It's been really interesting to see what my patterns are. Next section is and more. I'm joining in on a group of YouTubers who are tracking their health habits and more. So this is my and more section. My first one is to read the 12-week year. It's 190 pages, which is about 16 pages a week. The first time I had only read 3 pages, but I had a goal of reading up to page 32 this week, which I did do. And I bought the book at my local bookstore so that I can highlight. And that was really good just to be able to go back and see what resonated with me. I'm just kind of looking through to see what I highlighted on here. Annual goals and plans are often a barrier to high performance. It's so easy to take a look at goals for the whole year and think, oh, I have all this time to complete this. So either that means starting really hard out the gate and maybe letting it fall to the wayside, or leaving it all till the end of the year. So this idea of a 12-week year is to check in with your goals more frequently to make it easier to predict what the next 12 weeks will look like. Life can change so much over the course of a year. Effective execution happens daily and weekly. This made me realize I do need to kind of write out what my goals are for the week and update them as I go through the week. I know I'm a procrastinator, and so I think writing it out for the week will be much better. To be able to just go through and highlight the items that I've finished as I go along. I didn't make any progress on Mistborn. This might be a little bit of two different things going on, both not being able to check in with it throughout the week as I'd like to, but also I don't know if I like the narrator for Mistborn. I listened to an hour on a travel shift while I was driving, which is usually the easiest time for me to pay attention to an audiobook, either that or while I'm walking and not able to multitask. But I restarted it this week to try to get back into it, and I just kept losing track of where I was. It wasn't drawing me in. So we'll see. I might need to just read this book. I am really interested in the book series, the plot, all that sort of thing, but sometimes I just have to read the book and not listen to it. For the next line item, for deep cleaning, I work on a specific task. I dedicate about an hour because I know I can just zone in to the project. I do this with editing my videos, so I have to start timers so that I don't get sucked into it. So I just set a timer this week and worked on my office paperwork, and I got so much work done. I feel really good about the progress I made, but also it went by so fast. I feel like I could have worked on it for 3 or 4 hours, but then I wouldn't have been able to enjoy some other things this weekend that I was looking forward to. So I'm gonna stick with the 1 hour time frame. Last section is just the radar. These are items I'd like to complete at some point during this 12-week year. We have 2 camping trips planned. We won't go on those until the weather is a little bit warmer. And then also I want to create, so for this 12-week year, that will be Etsy, creating and updating a budget spreadsheet listing. Took my previous one down because I wasn't using that type of template anymore. I have a 3-day weekend coming up this next week, so I'm hoping to spend some of that time working on creating this Etsy listing. I'll link the 12-week year book down below, as well as the Yoga with Adriene session that I did. And also, if you're hoping to follow along with some other YouTubers' health journeys, I'll link their channels down below. Let me know what non-financial goals you are working towards, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!